Hey, what's going on? So, contrary to the video I made yesterday, where I was saying kind of like a life update, um, yeah, I'm actually going to be doing quite the opposite. Because I said I wanted my mind was telling me high fat, or just a lot of fat in general, and subsequently, I know fat's the hardest to digest. Yeah, I know it's completely the opposite of video yesterday, but honestly, I'm willing to try anything because I've been like super tired for 2 years. I've had like severe adrenal fatigue. I, I don't know how it exactly happened. I mean, in a way, started working out a lot, like almost every day. Like this, I don't know, this, I felt like immense energy, and I don't know if it was a month or 3 months. It might have just been a month, but I worked out every day. I usually don't work out every day, but it wasn't lifting weights. It was just I had like a cycle. I would do calisthenics, which is push-ups, squats, and pull-ups. But I had like a cycle, which just like a 15-minute thing, and I would do it in 15 minutes, kind of like a hit workout, basically. And it would be, and then I make do sprints. So all in all, it was like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, but it was a really intense workout for like 15 to 30 minutes usually, because that's what it was. And then I would do like a couple sprints. But then that would be like one day. The next day, I started jogging. Then I started jogging for 2 hours straight. I just made my way to 2 hours. And then another day, I would just do sprints, I think, and then more sprints than the other day, and then maybe jump rope for like 15 minutes straight. So, and then I just started working out every day when I was vegan to like a month and a half into it. Well, not a month, a year and a half into it, to like 2 years. And also, I was smoking weed, which was fine. I was taking grabs. And my friend ended up, I broke up with my girlfriend. She's the one who got me on it from watching like Cowspiracy. And then I continued on that diet. But I know people say you don't eat enough, whatever. I wasn't eating any raw foods, maybe some salads here and there, but I wasn't eating much raw foods, and I didn't know nothing about food, nutrition, definitely, when I even got into, when I became vegan. I knew nothing about it. That's like the worst thing when you go vegan, is you know nothing about health usually, and that's what I did. I'm speaking low because kind of low. Definitely low because just had to be a little bit quiet, I guess. Just woke up too. And yeah, I just had like this immense energy. I know people, I've seen it all, the honeymoons and da da da. But another thing is, I was cooking all the time and I just wasn't making enough food. And I was cooking my food, a lot of it, not having like a equal ratio of stuff, like fresh food, and just I always sucked with balance. Basically, it's one of my hardest things is balancing food. I'm a Libra and I'm October, and I coincidentally, or yeah, I guess that would be coincidentally, I always I never liked balance. Yeah, and I know everything people say you don't need a balanced diet and da da da, and there's people eating strictly carnivore, and that's great. I, but I'm gonna continue with the story before I say anything. And I just started working out like every day, and I broke up with my girlfriend, which just she was just stressful to me, And then I had a friend stay at my house, and he was just like sleeping into like 5 p.m. sometimes, and just up my tail over the time he was over here. Like I just don't like I was a leader or something. It just was kind of annoying and just being right up my butt all the time, and him staying right in this room, sleeping, and I couldn't make any noise. Really, I didn't want to, and he was just sleeping throughout the whole day. Just it, way too much, way too much, and that did add some stress, weird stress to me. So, and then I just like started working out every day. I'd be hungry when I go to sleep for whatever reason, and then I'd wake up next day and work out. And then, like I said, I was just working out every day. I'm not sure if it was 1 month or 3 months. I usually took breaks, a couple days or a day in between, maybe two. It's hard to remember everything, but yeah, that's what was going on. And another thing is eating disorder, which I said not eating balance, and I was eating a lot of like trail mix, which maybe is not that bad. I actually like it. Eating trail mix. I was eating food for flavor, which, whatever. And I was just cooking all the time. Like, I would make one meal and it just wasn't enough. I didn't know proportions or anything. And I make, like, so not enough, I guess, and, or diversity or whatever. I got into, like, I don't know, I made a whole bunch of recipes, a bunch of different ones. I kind of got over to, like, Indian cooking, but it just took so freaking long to make those things, and I'd spend so much time cooking, and then you eat it, and then you have to wash the dishes, and then that can go anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, and then if you do it like 3 times a day, because I was so dogmated on making my own food because I knew it was going into it. That's that could be that's a lot of time. Like it just is. I can completely a lot of time. I make one meal and not be really satisfied, and I was like, oh, maybe this will hold me. Then I'm making another meal, and just way too much, and a lot of foreign ingredients I had no clue, nothing about, and just feeling like a recipe needs to have it all, everything that says in the recipe, else it's not going to turn out right. um, yeah, and so like I was just hungry all the time, and by nighttime I'd be like laying on the ground, no energy, but I'd be so hungry I didn't want to eat so late. So I'd just kind of lay there. Sometimes I'd be starving and I just try to go past it. Or I usually just didn't eat at night because didn't want to. I knew not good, but now I know I should definitely ain't. And it just came to the point where, like, after working, I just kept working out. And eventually I was just like, whoa, I came to this, like, once I eat something, I just tend to keep on freaking eating it. I don't know why. And then I eventually got to the point where I was making PB and J's. Like, I'd make my own bread out of whole wheat, and then sometimes white flour, bad white flour, and I just kept making peanut butter and jelly, and I just kept making this and making this because I was just like, it was real easy to make basically, and I was fond of making food, and I really liked bread. I knew it wasn't that good to keep eating that, but it was just like I wanted something right then and there. I didn't feel like it's just like when you're like, like kind of getting shaky because you're hungry and freaking you want to eat something, so you make this real quick, and that's what I kept doing and doing, and I, I should have, and I was just like, oh, I had this stigma in my head. I can't eat meat. It's not good for you. I'm higher than these people, better, and I just had a real stigma in my head. Yeah, and a lot of that, a lot of stigma in my head. So, and then I just want to tell that story, I guess, to get to where my point now. And yeah, so now I'm at, uh, I worked with a holistic doctor for like, probably a decent amount of time now, at least 7 to 9 months. maybe even longer. And I actually took some like a month, almost like a month in between my last time, maybe a little bit more. And she's really cool. I mean, um she doesn't eat that much meat. She was raw vegan for 6 7 years. She still eats a lot of food. I always ask her because she's really cool and she lives really close to me. And she knew what was going on when I first called her and told her on the phone, like, oh, you have adrenal fatigue. And I had probably the worst because there's stages to it, and I had the worst stage basically. And it affects everyone different. But that's the thing I'm gonna get to. Everyone is completely different. Something's not gonna work for everybody, and there's gonna be need adjustments because we're not. A lot of us are hybrids. I don't know. Yeah, hybrid. I always say it like I don't know why. It's just I'm never gonna get it right. I always say it like that. Hybrid. I don't know why. Just because how the word looks, I guess. And none of us are living in a natural environment and stuff like that. And no one knows shit basically, and you can only listen to yourself. But yeah, like I said, everyone's different, and nothing. I've seen things. I've seen a lot of things work for somebody, and I still have like a stigma in my head, kind of like even though it's been a hard time thinking and not knowing shit. So, because my adrenal exhaustion, but it's getting better. That's for sure. And she was raw vegan for 6 7 years. I mean, and she looks, healthy. But she's really loving and caring. That's probably the best part. The only downside is it's pretty freaking expensive. But I I don't know. Yeah, definitely pissed about it a couple times. And of course, she gives supplements, and I don't know how much exactly work, but she's real. She basically always reads me. Like she knows what I need. Like she just knows it's. She's really good, and she's on like a younger side necessarily. I think she's in her 40s, but she was raw vegan for 6 7 years. She did a 27-day fast, and she definitely knows her stuff. And I've been working with her, like I said, for a while, and gave her lots of money, which whatever. I mean, it's my health, and I didn't know anybody to go to because everyone on the internet says one thing completely different. And I've been researching for 2 years. I've been almost laying on the floor for 2 years, but it's actually getting better. I mean, I just feel it. A lot of stuff has changed, I guess. But basically, what I wanted to say, this whole thing, I'm going to more a plant-based style, because she said I need to stop listening to my head. I mean, she's been telling me I'm not hard-headed, but I have a bad time at listening to people. I not just like paying attention to them, but sometimes because they're boring, but just more not necessarily that in this particular situation. I don't know. I just don't listen. I don't know why. There's like I always tend to rebel on anything. Though I am a disciplined person, but it's yeah. So she says I need. I mean, she's been saying this really, and I need to eat more balanced and or well rounded. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't know. I mean, my adrenals are down, so my digestive's weak, and I can't handle denser food necessarily, or like fats. One of the hardest things to dissolve. Along kind of with protein. I mean, just animal products is basically what I'm saying. Flesh, that is. And I'm gonna be moving to more plant based. So I have incorporated it recently in obviously, the last years of my life, but more so now I know a grip of it, more about nutrition and stuff like that, and to eat more and signals. But I don't have any signals because my adrenals are down. And I'm just gonna listen to what she says. I mean, I know this sounds real crazy, and I need to stop listening to my head for one, what she was saying. Two, I need to increase carbohydrates, which I'm gonna do. Because when I do eat meat or stuff like that, I will say like it's weird. Like when you eat meat, it's like you, for me, and it goes with everything I've been saying. I just like I just want to eat meat then, and it's just weird. If you eat meat, you don't really want to eat sugar and stuff and plants. But if you eat sugars and plants, you don't want to eat meat. it's that's how it is for me. So let me know how you feel about that. And I'm feeling better. I can tell because my thoughts aren't excessive. Because when you have adrenal fatigue, your mind wants to cling on to anything because basically it's you're dying. So yeah, and it just wants to cling on to everything. And as a taste and stuff like that, I just want to go say from my experience eating carnivore, but I never just ate that strictly. It's just a whole nother ideology and extreme, and for me, I need a balance basically. And she was saying, well, it's just like sometimes when I eat that, I definitely notice like I'm laying on the floor, like even all day, like literally all day laying on the floor, and whether it's just protein or liver or whatever, I'm literally laying on the floor like all day. Yeah, there were some times I felt I had incredible dreams, but you know, maybe I don't need all that stuff because I it only happened a couple times, which people just oh I feel so good now, yeah, but I don't know how much of that you really need. But again, it's none of my opinion. I'm just saying based off what I like, and so I was saying I need to increase carbohydrates, eat a more balanced diet, and I, from everywhere I read online, and even the book that I really like, Autogenous Wander Plans We Want to Live, and just overall things I've been learning, whether you believe in alkalization or not. I think processed foods would probably be the worst, but people say when you do have adrenal fatigue, you need to alkalize the body. I mean, it's just like the sad truth, and well, not a sad truth, but people just don't like to believe in alkalization. I do believe in it because it does make sense, and people have healed by eating alkalizing foods. So whether you can call them alkalizing, I, but it does make sense. Some people just completely deny it. I don't believe in that. And ever since I learned about it, there is some truth to it, definitely. So she says I need to increase my carbohydrates. She even says to eat cooked food. I mean, this is what I mean. She was raw vegan for 7 6 7 years and 27 water fast, and she's telling me to eat cooked food. I mean, I don't know. I don't even care what I eat. I just want to heal, and I don't have any signals for hunger. I just eat out the blue, and people say, "Well, why are you eating if you're not hungry?" Because I basically need to eat because I've been starving for a long time. My body's in complete like fight or flight mode, and I would say it was I don't know which one, and I don't even care because I just want to do whatever. And she's recommending cooked food, and I don't know. I don't have anything against it, but obviously she knows what she's talking about, and I've worked with her for a long. I don't know. Every time she said it, I was like, no, I don't want any cooked food, no. But I don't know. I'm willing to try anything, and for the most part, like meat and all that stuff, it just seems so heavy on the digestion. So as of right now, and everything's subject to change, and what works for me, may not work for you. Individuality. So I'm gonna go more plant based, and I might even start cooking some food. I understand. I completely fucking understand. Even contrary to what the opposite of what I said yesterday about what I said, that's what I did was doing lately, and what my mind was saying. But she said you need to stop listening to your mind, eat carbohydrates. I mean, it is evidently what people say the main fuel, glucose. To me, from what I've read and stuff, alkalizing the body, eating more well-rounded, plant-based diet yeah, and not as heavy foods and fatty foods. So the big five right there. And aside from that, I'm not gonna. I understand food's not for taste, but I don't. Oh, I don't know. Meat's kind of really boring to eat and doesn't necessarily taste like anything. But I will admit, and I've had differences. I felt good off eating salads before, and uh, another thing I'm gonna do is eat smaller meals, but way more through the day. I mean, I've read this so many times and been in this for so long. But that's another thing I'm gonna do: eat smaller meals and more carbohydrate rich, which I already said. But there's been times I've ate salads and really liked them and felt good after them, better than I ate meat. I mean, it's not a lie. It's not something I made up. And again, I develop a ideology of raw food. Raw food's it. Raw food's this. And who knows? I mean, it's I keep developing ideas and thoughts in my head like, oh, I can't believe people were eating any fucking cooked food. You know what I mean? But I some people are healthy as hell eat cooked food, and there's nobody who evidently or predominantly, maybe some, but nobody in history that I've ever read about that always ate just completely raw food, completely. Everyone has cooked food to some extent, even throughout their lives, and you know what I mean. So that's that. And I did read an Ayurveda, which they do say, and I've heard other people say this too, coincidentally, when you have a weak digestive fire, even though raw food's basically damp and cold, all raw food is. So when you have a weak digestive fire, it's actually not good to eat raw food, supposedly, from what Ayurveda says. And maybe some other people, probably Chinese, but I know I've heard other people speak about it, and then I heard Ayurveda say it. Because basically, when it depends on your sickness or whatever, but for mine, you need like warmth, love, because the body's going. Adrenals work everything, so you'll get cold, your blood won't be hitting all spots, everything's off. So you need like warmth, love from the food, and just all around, and the environment and everything. So that's why you need cooking food or warm food, and I don't know. I guess I'm gonna give it a fucking try. And where I was getting at is meat doesn't really have a freaking taste, and it's not always enjoyable. Definitely not desirable. Yeah, I mean, my favorite thing to actually eat, whatever, is probably a salad for the most part. And I don't know if you should enjoy your food or just completely ignore it and know it's good for you, and how I guess how it makes you feel at the end of the day. Cause yeah, you know what I mean. I don't necessarily like the taste of meat. I mean, there's really no taste to it. But if you're cooking it and you know what I mean, doing a bunch of things with it, yeah, it's gonna taste better. Of course it is. But it doesn't really taste like nothing. Whereas I don't know, a salad or something, or any freaking vegan meal definitely tastes better. I will say this than freaking meat. Raw meat doesn't taste like shit, but um, in cooked meat, you know what I mean. It will taste like something. My favorite, I don't know why, but there's this Indian restaurant. They have buffets, and I haven't been there in a long time. I was thinking about it, but they had this one. Oh my god, they had it was called like chili chicken, and back when I ate, I don't. I might have been vegan at the time, but there was a couple times, I think I did eat some, and I had this chili chicken. And oh my god, it was fucking fire that they made. It was like they had a buffet in there, and you just like fucking chili chicken every time I went there. It was like ridiculous. Yeah, so that's I just want to be honest, and it a lot of it does make sense. Evidently, I'm not hard headed, but sometimes can be, you'd have to push me over, and I need to listen to what she says. I'm tired of being like this, basically. I mean, I feel better this morning. Every time I go to sleep, evidently I feel better. But sometimes it's hard to go to fucking sleep because I don't have energy to expend during the day, so I'm not really tired. Sometimes I sleep during the day. It's just weird. And when you have adrenals, you usually get your burst of energy later in the day, or times when it's more restful times. It's like the complete opposite. Or you're just deadlining all day. Me. And this is a long video, and I know people don't necessarily like long videos. But yeah, so I'm probably going to incorporate cooked food. And, you know, plant based more so, and I do enjoy the taste more. I'm not gonna lie about that, and I've felt good, just as good, if not sometimes better, eating plant like salads. Some people add salads ain't shit. Da da da. I can't digest them. I mean, well, I've ate them and felt amazing. Even maybe more amazing than I felt off liver. Like, yeah, I ate liver and well, high liver, fermented liver, and I had different results. But the first time, yeah, I was super happy. It felt, but it's not like I had to expand a bunch. Every time I ate meat, especially now, it's so heavy on my system. I just like maybe up for 30 minutes, but then I sleep. I sleep for so long. You know what I mean? Like I just end up sleeping really long. And I don't believe people cut out all. I never believed, you know what I mean? A lot of people are influencing and doing this and that. Yeah, I don't know. I just know, I definitely know fruits and veggies are way easier to digest, way easier on the system than meat will be any day, or fat, high fat, that is. Well, animal fats are even harder. It's the hardest thing to digest, and when your digestive system's down, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know. I'm probably so gonna be eating, fruits, salads, and stuff alike. Yeah, and she even said to eat freaking cooked food. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I usually keep eating the same thing, and I am not with a balance at all. And I have stigmas and ideology in my head. You know, even the people say like Romans ate once a day or whatever. I mean, no one knows, but they like, people say, oh, the peasants ate legumes and garbage. Yeah, but they end up being like the smartest people, or you know what I mean? Some of the best people. Not saying there's nothing wrong with eating meat or anything. I'm just saying, I've done so much research. That's all I could do, and a bunch of things because I was so tired and laying down all the time. And I watched, even when the Romans, yeah, they may, who knows, they may ate one meal a day, and they lived a whole different lifestyle. And it may have been meat at the end of the day, but when they were going to war, they ate carbohydrates and bread throughout the day. I think maybe bread and butter or just bread, because they need carbohydrates. Your body basically, everyone knows your body basically runs on carbohydrates, whether you're fat adapted or whatever. I don't even believe in fat adaptation, ketones. I think it's stupid. I don't know. People are pricking their finger to see their blood sugars. It's just weird. Like, whether we have that modern technology or not, I I don't know what the point of that would be. I mean, no one did that before in history. Why are you doing it now? I, I don't know. It's just weird. Well, not weird. Just going too far necessarily is what I meant to say in that attempt. Yeah, and I gotta do what works for me. You know what I mean? And what I feel best. You gotta listen to what the holistic doctor, and I told you what she's been through, and she's been through a lot of stuff too, and what she's saying, I can't deny. Sorry about that. I don't know why I did that. I can't deny or not listen to. You know what I mean? I've been trying stuff, and yeah, I mean, also my body type, which I guess this is going to a bonus note, and I'm gonna. If you have any questions, let me know. Follow, sub to my channel would be great. I appreciate it. Trying to get my subs up to 100. And comment below. Tell me your experience. Let me know if you have any video ideas. But also in Ayurveda, which I'm not gonna. It's just a book I read, and I was really interested because I got into health. But for some reason, they seem like they already know me. But basically, like, I like raw honey. I never actually liked honey before. Maybe because it wasn't raw. It was so glucose syrup or just some fake stuff, additives. I do like raw honey, but my body type in Ayurveda, which is the medium or moderate, it basically says like the best food for my consumption because I'm hot all the time. Heat, I have a lot of heat in my body, which is true. And I could talk about it for a while. We tend to like spicy things, but we should avoid spicy things. And onions fall in that category, and so does garlic, because we get heartburn. It's not necessarily stuff to do with the gut. It's just like our bodies are naturally running hot and acidic, but it's not a bad thing. It's just how our body runs, and I know I am that because I'm real active and I have a voice. I know I have fire, but when you have more fire to fire, it's not good, or more acidic to acidic, it's not good. Honey is acidic in nature, so like when I eat honey, I get hot. Not all the time, especially when I combine it with food, it's fine. It depends on the combination. If I eat straight honey, I get freaking hot. Hot. And spices, like spices, I'm attracted to spiciness. Like, usually people that what they don't need is what they're attracted to. So, like, spiciness, being out in like direct sun at certain times of the day. I love being in the sun. Just the hotness. I love hotness, basically. Who doesn't? But I Ayurveda says you just I need stuff that cools me down, basically cooling foods. And foods, ginger's a good one. It's warming to the body and it's really good. I like ginger. I like ginger. Yeah, and they just say for my body type, and me kind of like on acidic, super hot side. So is like spices and peppers, onions, garlic. Yeah, I really like onions. Definitely do. And some peppers. I don't like anything super spicy, but I'm attracted to the spices for sure. Just like hotter foods in general. Like spicy though. Yeah, and another thing I guess I'll hit with, evident, it is kind of evident. The poor people used to eat grains, or so to speak. None of us know. But, I mean, certain grains are definitely hybridized and not good for you to an extent. But there's people out there, that eat fucking shit every day and they're fine. And you can't deny that. I mean, I understand everyone's different, but people say grains are slaves. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, it sounds funny, but you know, people have ate grains all the fucking time and whatever. I mean, at this point, I'm willing to try fucking anything, and everyone's basically ate some grains. I guess it depends on your geographical location and the grain that you're actually eating. Um, yeah, so I guess if you want to take away something, gonna eat plant based, high carbohydrates, stuff that I maybe will actually like to eat, not heavy, dense foods, high fat. And I'm gonna listen to what my holistic doctor's been telling me that I have a hard time listening to people and I spent a bunch of money on, so I should. And and don't, you know what I mean? Just there's people who have the happiest life who eat shit all the time, don't even think about their health or anything. And I think I mean, it definitely depends on the environment, but how happy you are, I think it really is. Like, how happy are you? Are you ashamed of what you're doing? How happy are you? And I think that's definitely something to look into, whether you're looking actually in, and because there's people, food is one thing, but living a lifestyle and being actually happy is something completely different. There's people who eat grains all the time, or You know, there is some people busting out some raw vegan and living good off of veganism. We can't deny that, and can't come up with an ideology like raw is everything, which it does make sense, but who knows, and everything is subject to change, and everyone's completely hybridized their bodies and stuff, and living in geographical different locations, and still finding out stuff, and people have chemicals, unnatural things, a bunch of things going on in their lives, so, people may need different things and do different things. Uh, I actually wanted to say one more fucking thing. Was I think it was about my the holistic doctor. Oh yeah, she obviously she's gave me supplements. Uh, there was a time I didn't listen. Been a bunch of times I didn't listen to her. Of course, like I said, I have that problem, and I'm gonna try to follow through with whether I believe them or not. She's saying to fucking take them, whatever. I'm gonna fucking take them. I mean, there's different ones, of course, at different parts. Some of them are uh, herbs, of course, like have adrenal response, which has a bunch of adrenal herbs in them already compact. Then there's like these minerals. I'm adding sea salt too, of course, but there's minerals to the. They're just like sea salt. They're not. They're sea minerals from the sea, but I don't know. That's what I'm on now because I was just there the other day, and there's I don't know, just a whole bunch of minerals from the sea, basically. And she believes in them. I told her about the herbs that I made, but she wants these more. Then I got the adrenals, the sea salt. She keeps putting me on this fucking vitamin D. I don't know if I agree with this, but fuck it. I'm at that point. Whether I believe it or not, she's been real present with this vitamin D, so I'm gonna fucking take it, which I have been for a couple of days, and then this B vitamin complex. I mean, if it's gonna make me feel better, whatever. I mean, I've been through a bunch of supplements with her. This is a long ass video. No one's gonna watch it. I'll just name it something nice. And yeah, I mean that's all she has me on right now. So yeah, I just want to say that too. The not uh, act like I'm not taking something on the side too. And I take all those in the morning, and I'm probably about to take those. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you were staying the whole video, thanks. If you have any ideas, suggestions, it'd be cool to hear those. But yeah, that's got everything I wanted to say.